The entire classification system was created for the benefit of one person, period, end of story, one person, the President of the United States, to help the President of the United States handle national security matters. Literally just saying right now, this is declassified. This is classified, this is declassified. That's all he has to do. It doesn't even fill out paperwork. Who can possibly say that as he walked out 10 minutes before he was no longer president, he didn't simply say those 15 boxes, those 20 boxes are now declassified?
Amazing.
Yes, that is amazing. Amazingly stupid, almost as amazingly stupid as why he's not a congressman anymore. Not only was he embroiled in a campaign finance scandal, but when members of the press started asking questions about it, he threatened to throw one off a balcony.
Well, what about...
Thank you.
All right, so Congressman Michael Grimm does not want to talk about some of the allegations concerning his campaign finances. Back to you. Why?
Let me be clear to you. You have to do that to me again, I'll throw you off this balcony.
It's a valid question.
You're not man. You are not man. Like a boy.
I love that man so much. Oh, what a break you in half like a boy breaks someone in half? Do you break in half a lot of boys? Like, this is the kind of person that's going on TV now on Newsmax and being like, yo, Trump all the way. I'll make up these weird kind of almost facts about how to declassify information, which isn't exactly true, by the way. You still have to go through like a paperwork process to get them to take the words classified off the documents.
Yeah, well, that's true. Also, like, they've been denying that there was anything there to investigate, or that if it was there, it was important. Like, how much have they moved that it's now like, it doesn't matter anything. You can have anything and it's totally fine. And immediate follow-up. So you'd be cool with Joe Biden just taking a bunch of stuff, and he can just, it's not classified anymore. So he can just sell it. He can just put it on eBay and sell it to the Saudis if he wants to. Like, this is not an actual defense. They don't mean any of this. It is just defense of Trump. That's it.
Yep.
Break you in half like a boy. Like, am I the bad guy that's definitely sexual? It's definitely sexual, right?
Absolutely sexual. It's definitely roid ragey. And then the thing about it is, when this happened, I was like, I would be mad, but he is the representative from Staten Island, and there's nothing you can do that's more representative of Staten Island than threaten to throw someone off a balcony.
And quite frankly, to me, I've seen this type before. He looks a little Antifa-ish, doesn't he? All right, law enforcement, they're trying to do their best, I assume. Are they explaining away things? You know, he was caught wearing women's clothing. Here's how the police put it.
During the attack, Primo was dressed in women's clothing, and investigators do believe he did this to conceal his facial tattoos and his identity and help him during the escape with the other people who were fleeing the chaos.
Or maybe, like leftists all over the place, he liked wearing women's clothes even though he's a he. By the way, he identifies, at least in some social media postings, as a liberal. All right, I am a liberal. Now, is this, look, he's crazy if he did this, all right? This is a horribly deranged person, but I do notice they're not talking about motivations here. They do, however, whenever it seems that the shooter might at some point voted for a Republican, right?
Okay, so we had to engage with this because you got to appreciate that dude, the like third tier clone of Sean Hannity, saying he identified as a liberal once. And look at the liberal media. They won't admit it when there's a political motivation potentially. You notice he didn't show the guy wearing the Trump flag or at the Trump rally. It's weird that slipped his mind and he left it out. Now, interestingly, yesterday when we talked about this guy, what did we do? We identified the Trump flag and the Trump rally. We also said that he liked the Joe Biden video at some point, and so it was difficult to say with any certainty what his political motivations are. But they made it a little bit purer and cleaner for the Newsmax audience there. But that was just a little thing at the end. They also did, JR, I don't know if you know, on the show, I predicted that they were going to take that thing where he put on a female disguise to hide himself as he fled his mass shooting and pretend that he was trans or a transvestite or God only knows what. And that is indeed what they've done. Except that they went wider than that. They said that this is a thing that leftists do. leftists just dress up in women's clothing or something. That's a trend. I don't know. So Sophie's a leftist. That's true. She does wear women's clothing quite often. But anyway, that they found the thing to focus on. There's always going to be some little thing, JR, to focus on to excuse the fact that even someone who gives off as many warning signs as any human possibly could can walk into a store, get a weapon of war, and then go and kill as many people as he wants. That's a major problem that needs to be solved, but we can't focus on that because he was wearing a skirt or something. So let's talk about that for the next week. What do you think?
So there was one point about that whole thing that Greg Kelly just went through that really stuck out, because he went to these, let's go to the police officer that talked about how he dressed up in women's clothing to get away from the scene. And the police officer, who you would think if you're gonna go to a police officer who's talking about what happened on the scene, that you're going to him for the real information. You're going to him for the story. You're going to him for the details that we should believe. I mean, he's a trustworthy man in blue. Goes to the police officer says he dressed up in women's clothing so he could escape and cover up his tattoos and not be identified for who he was. He said that in the video that Greg Kelly went to, came back from the video and said, or maybe it's because he's a lib and he's a cross-dresser. That's what you got from the video you went to give us information, and you came back and opposed your own video.
That's amazing.
Again, you send this signal that, hey, we just went to an official video of what happened, yet I'm gonna reshape what you just saw. But not enough people paid attention to realize that that's what he did. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm not sure that he watched that.
It's a simple switch. It's not even a switch. It's just come back and disagreeing with the video you just said to listen to. That's all that happened.